So, any other question? Okay, in the absence of question, let's see some arithmetic operation with matrix. Wait, let me just call it numpy. So, I have two arrays A and B. That is the one I'm working with. Now, I can just say A plus B. It works very well and gives me. It adds each of them according to their placement. You see, 10 plus 2 gives me 12. 3 plus 12 gives me 15. 4 plus 45 gives me 49. That is the addition. That is how matrix does addition. And also, if I do A minus B, it also gives me the same thing. A minus B gives me the same thing. So, what about multiplication? I can multiply. I can do a vector multiplication. I can do a matrix multiplication. Now, let's assume I pick A multiplied by 2. What should it give me? A multiplied by 2. This is a vector multiplication. It takes that 2 and multiply each of the item in A, in the matrix A. It multiplies it and gives me the result. So, it multiplies 2 by 2, it gives me 4. 2 by 3 gives me 6. But if I want a matrix multiplication, I say A multiply. Okay, let's do it in a simpler way. A multiplied by B, and look at it. Look at the multiplication. So when you multiply A and B, both are matrices. So this has become a matrix multiplication. So mathematically, if you solve it, those that solves with their hand, if solved mathematically, you see that this is matrix multiplication. So it takes 2 multiplied by 10 and gives me 20. Then goes the next 3 multiplied by 12. It gives me 36. It comes the next 45. 45. 4 multiplied by 45 and it gives me the value. So it goes next to the second row and begin to multiply, just like that. Okay, so also we can get the modulus of a matrix if we switch all that things. Okay, from this matrix A, I'm just trying to wrap up on time because of time. For this matrix A, we can use the Python function to get the minimum. From observation, the minimum will be 1. The truth value of an array with more than one element is ambiguous. Use A.any. Okay. So if I say A greater than 1, good. So all the arrays all the items that have that A that is greater than 1 will return true. But all the items that are less than 1 will return, or that's less than 1 actually, or that's not greater than 1. It can be less than 1, it can be equal to 1, will return false. So these are Boolean operation. A dot mean, I think it should return the minimum. Yes, H dot mean returns the minimum. Then A dot max returns the maximum item in that matrix. Okay, so something just came to my mind. You want to get a matrix, then the kind of matrix we call, you want to get the diagonal of a matrix. Now this our A matrix. Let me pick this array matrix 2 again. I want to get the diagonal of this matrix. I can say np dot diagonal For that option to come out, when I press it, I use my tab key. I want to get the diagonal of AR2. Then you find that it returns the diagonal for me. It gives me the diagonal. So since this matrix AR to the shape is not a square shape, it reduces it to a square shape and gives me the diagonal of the matrix. That's what we do mathematically when we're solving it mathematically. To get the diagonal, you have to reduce and get the diagonal, make it a square matrix. Okay, now we can implement something we learned yesterday. And use it in this numpy. Okay, now this is our matrix 2, and we have numbers that comprises of both odd and even. We have numbers that are both odd and even. Let's assume we want to get out the odd numbers from this matrix. How can we get out the odd numbers from this matrix? This AR2 want to get out the odd numbers from this matrix. How can we get out the odd numbers from this matrix? A simple logic is you can flatten the matrix. After flattening the matrix, then you run your for loop. Then after running your for loop, then you can get your odd number. So let's follow this algorithm and proceed with it. I can say I want to get the odd numbers, so I can give this as my new matrix equals to ARR2 dot flatten. AR2 dot flatten. I've stored it, so the result are stored in here. So I say for I in flats, if I is divisible by 2, then I know that I is an odd number. Okay, so I do this equal to 0. But if I divisible by 2 and the remainder gives me 0, then I'll have an even number. So let's do this. Print I. So if we run this, we'll have the following number. I think the only odd number here is 3, and that is what it should be. Okay, 3 and 5. Oh, there are 5. Good. We have 5. So this gives us our odd numbers. The odd numbers in the matrix. I don't know if you understand this, if it's clear to us. This little task, is it clear? Okay, another thing we can do is, if I do ARR2, I say ARR2, if it is divisible by 2, what will this return? It returns 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Those places that are divisible by 2, which is true. 0 in Python is true, or true in Python. Sorry, true in Python is 1, 0 is false. So we can just confirm this. If I say bool of 0, bool 0 gives me false. And if I say bool of 1, it gives me true. Okay, good and fine. If I say true, and this is, we can add boolean values in Python. If I say bool plus true, it will give me what? It will give me 2, because 1 plus 1, it gives me 2. Same thing, I can say 3 times true. 3 times 2 will give me what? It will give me 3, because it's 3 times 1. So this is actually possible in Python. Okay, now I want to run this cell and create a cell below it. I'll use alternate enter. Good. I'll use alternate enter. Now I want to get just those values. I don't want 1, 1, 1. I want to see those values there. What I can do is ARR2. I'll create a max of it. Then I'll say ARR2 divisible by 2. This works in pandas. I don't know if it will work in NumPy, but it is a very good skill in pandas when we are creating max. Let me see. It did not work. It did not work in NumPy. So we can simply use that for loop. You can simply use the for loop and execute it this way. That is this way. It prints out the odd numbers. Okay, you can answer. Yes, this one. They are true and false. So when we look at the ARR2, let me just do this. Let me create a cell above it. Then I create a cell B. I say ARR2. So you see that, and this is a logic. It's ARR2 modulus 2. So 2 divides 2 gives us 0, right? The 2 modulus 2 returns 0 because there's no remainder. Good. Then 4 modulus 2 returns 0. But actually those things that are is it true and false? Is it true and false? How do I know? Because when I do another logic, ARR2 greater than 3, it will give me this. You see this? So that's the true and false. That's what is returning. In Python, 0 is false and true is 1. Just as I showed below here. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yes. Two divides 2. Yes. The modulus. Yeah, okay. Yes. 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 Okay. 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 Now I get you. Now let's see this. Let's just confirm something first. Let me create a cell here. Let me create a cell here. I create a cell. Let me say 4 modulus 2. 4 modulus 2 gives me 0. Then let me say 4 modulus 2 equal to 0. It gives me true. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 2. 1. Yes. That is it. Thank you. That is it. That is it. Thank you. Yeah. So, any other question, observation? Any other question, observation? Okay, looking at this array2, AR2, we want to perform slicing. Let's say we want to get the second. We want to get this 442. We want to get the 442 out of it. You know, when we do AR2 and we do this, comma this, it gives us so many indexes. Okay, this, comma this, it gives us nothing. But when we do this 0, sorry, ARR2, sorry, I'm using ARR2, and it gives us this, which is this first element. But now I want to get this element here, 442, the vector, which is what we call slicing in Python. We call it slicing. So a good way of doing that is, this is the second column, and in Python, when we have the first bracket is for the row. The first bracket is for the row. Why the second? If I do this 2, I do 1. So if you go to this third row and it will return 2 for me, it will return 2. Okay, this will return 2. But when I do 2 and I just use my column, it returns everything in this row for me, in the third row. It returns everything, 8, 3, 4, this. So if I want to get this 442, all I have to do is ARR2, then I return this. I want all the rows there, but the column I want is this second column. Then look at it. Two, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 5, 6. No. I want 442. 442. 442. So actually it will be what? Let's brainstorm. I want 442. That second column, the second column, not a row, but the column 442. I want the 442. That column is 1. Any person brainstorming? Any person brainstorming? Okay. 442. I think this will give us the value. It's still returning. Have you seen it? So there is it. This working. That is it. So this first column here is telling it everything in that row. So if you go to the second column, if you pick 4, if you pick 4 again in the second row, then it will just return that for us. That is slicing in NumPy. We do that slicing to extract whatever thing we wish to extract. Tomorrow we'll be working with a more practical data which has to do with data frame and not just with numbers, because we know quite alright that when we're analyzing data, we are not just going to be seeing numbers, and that's we are going to be seeing tabular data. So tomorrow we'll be making use of pandas to create data frame. We'll show the different ways we can create a data frame, and we'll discuss about data cleaning. And before we talk about data cleaning, we'll also talk about EDA, which is expository data analysis, before we go deeper into pandas. I'm trying to bring out a little task for us to do in NumPy before we call it a day. I'm trying to get that out. Though it's all about performing little transpose and multiplication. Perform transpose and multiplication. Okay, before I get that out, let me just make this very clear. we can change the shape of an array. When we have AR2, or let me say AR2, we have this, we can change the shape. We can reshape it. Now, reshaping is not just transposing, because when you talk about transpose, you are taking the columns to the rows to the column. When I reshape, like I can reshape it, but when I'm reshaping, it must be of the same size. The new shape and the old shape, or the new array and the old array, must be the same size. What I mean is, when I do AR2 dot shape, let me just get this as a tuple, AR2 dot size. It gives me the shape is 3 by 4 and the size is 12. So if I want to reshape this array, I can reshape it into a 4 by 3 matrix, a 6 by 2 matrix, or a 2 by 6 matrix, and I can also reshape it into, I can flatten it just to be one dimension. Okay, that is, I can make it a 12 by 1 matrix, or 1 by 12 matrix. Now it's not a one dimension again. Okay, what I mean is, I can say AR2 dot reshape. I'll specify the dimension. So I want to reshape it to 2 by 6. Know that 2 by 6 and 3 by 4, they are the same size, because 3 times 4 is 12 and 2 times 6 is 12. So when I do this, you see my reshape. And if I get the size, if I say dot size, it will also give me 12. So whenever I'm reshaping my array, my matrix, it must result to the same size. I cannot reshape this array 2 of size 12 to something like reshape 10, 2, or I cannot even say 5, 2. It will throw an error. It will tell me that it's not of the same size. So when I'm reshaping, I must consider my size, when I'm the size of the array when I'm reshaping it. Okay, I would like you to please, you can contact me on WhatsApp so that I will forward the little tasks for you. I cannot just display it now because it's on another system and I'm connected with another system. So please just contact me on WhatsApp. For our friend Ahmed that joined us from outside the country, please, that's why I'm using this +234, including the country code 736053. Okay, let me change it to heading. Mark down. So you can contact us on WhatsApp. We're using that number. Okay, that's fine. Using this number, you can contact us on WhatsApp. Then I will forward the task to you. Then when you are done, you forward it back to me. Then tomorrow, same time, by 11 a.m. Nigeria time, we'll also be going on live again with pandas in focus. So, in the absence of any other question and contribution, I would like to say thank you for joining. Thank you very much for joining. Please, who made that contribution? Is it Mr. Wisdom or Mr. Noble? The contribution on that, I think it's your voice. It's Mr. Noble on the modulus. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate. Please do well to join us tomorrow again. Have a nice day and Bye.